Welcome to the Indian Tech Icon Spotlight, Silicon Valley chapter where leaders are redefining the future of technology. I'm Sheetal Acharya, and today on the Spotlight we have our guest, Sujeet Bambawale, who is a global cybersecurity executive and senior director at Synopsys, redefining the future of cybersecurity globally. Hi Sujeet, welcome to the show, and it's truly a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Sheetal. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So, really excited to know about your journey, about your experiences. So, to start with, how your journey has been, like what made you get into cyberspace?
Years ago, many moons ago, I used to write for the Indian Express. I used to have a column in a part of the paper called Channel Y. And I used to write about technology. I used to write about cyberspace, not necessarily cybersecurity. And there was one specific technology called ICQ. I think it was the first instant messenger pre-90s or maybe late 90s. And I wrote about that, and it got so popular that it made me think about instant messaging and cyberspace in a different light. And as I started getting more into internet technology at the time, I realized that cybersecurity, or the concept of securing things in cyberspace, was the confluence of human creativity, human psychology, and technology. Without these three things, the very creative part of cybersecurity would not be there. And the very, very technology intensive, looking at details part of cybersecurity wouldn't exist as well. So it was a very interesting mix of these three things coming together. And to me, it felt like it would always stay fresh because it would be technologies evolving. It would be people evolving their methods of trying to compromise these technologies. And there's a cliche in, I suppose, corporate America or corporate anywhere, which is everything's about people, process, and technology. And cybersecurity appears to want to compromise all three of those facets. So it was very interesting to me. It still is. I think that after all these years, I still am very much a student of the trade rather than someone who says I've learned it all. I think it's every day that I learn from something that's new in cybersecurity. So very helpful.
So that's really commendable that you got into cyber at very early age and you had that interest to kind of know things, and you were kind of an inquisitive kid.
I was. I think I still am. Yeah.
Wonderful. And like since that time, what are the changes that you have seen or the major transformations that you have experienced in your journey?
I think all management is about people. And all management is about scaling processes wide. Technology obviously changes almost every day. Cloud was a huge accelerator that I saw. It was a big jump along the technology lane that was very interesting to see. It was a big shift. AI now is a similar huge shift. Just as cloud could do things very well at scale and still can, it made us mature processes. It made us do things in a way that can be repeated without breaking in someone else's data center, as they say. And now AI is making us rethink almost everything, because having education, experience, and expertise come together in a objective entity called AI is very interesting. I say objective with hesitation because there's always a lot of debate about hallucinations and algorithmic bias and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, AI is the packaging of education, experience, and expertise at scale being made available to us. So that has really accelerated problem solving. That has really accelerated the ability for us to get choices in the cybersecurity space. One could argue that the threat actors have the same technology available.
I was about to ask you that.
And sure it is. Uh, if I was a threat actor, I'm sure I'd do the same. But I think it's intensified innovation. And the way it's powered innovation is amazing. I, I feel bad calling them the young generation because I guess that makes me old. But I see so much innovation coming out of the young generation using AI in cybersecurity. It's amazing to see. It's a great time to be.
So, Sujit, you talked about people, process, and technology. So, when we talk about transformation, so these days, is it more, more people centric or technology centric?
I'll change the paradigm just a little bit. In my opinion, what we've seen till now, pre AI, is results being delivered at scale in a stair-step manner. Software was created, then software became wider use software, then software became enterprise software. Enterprise software needed customer support channels. Enterprise software needed moving staff globally to support the support channels. So we saw the growth of software, and it was results. It was whatever that software did, the results that the software did, getting scaled globally and being supported globally. Cloud was also about results, getting those results at scale in a replicable manner, and perhaps at a cost point that was lesser than the data center or doing it yourself. So till now, we were in the results business. After AI, I think we're in the decisions business. So I don't see more focus on getting something done rather than getting a point of view about what to do next. Mm-hmm. So AI, I think, has moved us from results to decisions. It's helping us make decisions or helping us make informed decisions and helping us make better predictions about what could be based on the data that we have. So really the shift for me is not how you can get something done, but getting help in what should be done.
Well, that's a great answer. Now, talking about the companies or the enterprises in cybersecurity space, so where are we dropping the ball? Like, what is still that is missing?
I'm a great fan of cybersecurity. I would never presume to say that they're dropping the ball. Mm-hmm. I think that the threat landscape is evolving extremely rapidly. And I think that almost every facet of people, process, and technology scaled globally is being assessed by threat actors for segments that can be compromised, for segments that can be monetized. Now, threat actors, I used to say, and I still do, that they're motivated by really three things: competition, compensation, or ideology, really. Okay. Ideology can't be paid with money. If you're just a nation state, you just don't like something or someone, you're going to use resources at scale to attack someone and so on and so forth, either geopolitical or some other outcomes. Competition is more, between competing companies. One wants to get someone's trade secrets and so on and so forth. And what we've seen the rise of really is the compensation silo. The whole, I want money because I'm going to compromise you, the ransomware silo of things. So these three segments, I think, are fairly constant. I used to call them compensation and conviction rather than ideology. So if you're just convinced that, something is not right and you're going to go after it, that's it. So threat actors at scale globally, they are maturing with AI, perhaps, their processes. They are using the same, how should I say this, low-cost labor in different countries, perhaps to support their own activities, right? So it's really, call it a balancing act or call it a cat and mouse game. But I don't think the cybersecurity industry is dropping the ball. I think it's reacting as quickly as it can to see one silo spool up, and then they'll create a solution for it. Mm-hmm. There are solutions for almost all of those silos. We've got insider threat. We've got human risk management that's trending right now. We've got a lot of anti-ransomware companies. Conviction, I mean, we've got a lot of threat intelligence that can help understand what a sentiment around the company is and so on and so forth. Can any one of these be perfect? No. But I think it's unfair to say they're dropping the ball. I think cybersecurity is doing a lot, is doing the best it can.
That's really a great insight, and thanks for sharing that with us. So, Sujit, one more thing, like when we talk about threat actors, like on a lighter note, has this thought ever crossed your mind that these brains could have been used in some constructive way?
Yeah, always, always. I don't remember the exact time or place for this. I think the first iPhone had just been released, and I was on a trip to a different country. And the narrative here in Silicon Valley was either the iPhone cannot be hacked or cannot be broken, or there was something very binary about that narrative that like this is really secure.
Yeah.
And I remember going to this other country and mentioning this, and they said, yeah, we can have a kid break it for you on the corner of the street, right? So I agree with you. I think that like unlocking phones and things that, in other parts of the world, we just assume to be unbreakable are often broken by, the really intelligent entrepreneurial spirit of another country, and threat actors have great brains. I 100% agree with you. If there was a way to hire them in the right way, in the right context, and be sure that they're always going to work for good, we'll be in a great place.
That's again, great perspective. But talking about, you have been working with global teams. So talking about, having worked with different teams, what's one common thing that from your leadership style, you feel that this is something which is common to all the cultures?
I think everyone wants to participate constructively. I've never known any team in any country that wasn't a student of the trade, a student of the craft, a student of the technology. I've seen eyes light up, with technology as well as with incidents in teams across the globe. And I could see that they're learning. I could see that they had perhaps not thought about an event or an incident unfolding in a certain way. And yes, we'll manage the incident. Yes, we'll manage the event. But I could see that learning that's coming out of it. And it's very powerful because, that's something that's almost lifelong. So I think all cultures everywhere, I think they are really motivated by learning. They really participate very well together. And I mean, I've been very fortunate to have teams in India, and they really come together very well. I think that they're very nurturing of the personal bond, and they, come together and they celebrate each other extremely well.
Oh, absolutely. So, Sujit, if I ask you, what's your motivation or inspiration to stay in the cybersecurity? Like, what drives you, or what makes you excited every day when you? It's a sleepless job, I would say, but what still motivates you?
It's such a nice question. I think what I've learned, what I've really been blessed to learn over the years is cybersecurity is equal parts communication and equal parts being a student. So I think that having had the luxury and the blessing of working in a newspaper, I knew the importance of simple language. But simple language is a method. And I've learned that true growth is outside your echo chamber. So for the most impact, and thus to learn the most, and thus to grow the more, you have to speak to people outside the bubble in their language. And when you do that in the cybersecurity context, you learn a lot more about what is actually at risk and how it can be protected. It's almost as if you can go and talk to a programmer with a certain few default assumptions about how to protect their code. And once they understand what you're trying to do, they may tell you everything that you're trying is slightly misaligned and that there are more risks to consider and perhaps easier safeguards. I'll give you an example from back in the day. We were launching a product overseas, and the local point of view was always your pet's name or your anniversary or your, so on and so forth, being secret credentials, like secret questions and secret responses. When we went offshore, the denser the country, we found that everyone knew that about you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's no longer a secret. So we have to adapt. Right? So it's always that. You can't go there with a preconceived notion. You have to really listen outside the bubble. Instead of telling them, you got to ask them, this is what I'm trying to do. What would be a good way to protect this? And then if you're more open arms to the local culture, to what you're trying to protect, I think the people who run it, the people who champion it, the people who operate it, the operators, who are the best source of your intelligence to protect.
Absolutely. And like the way you explained, you talked about like people know everything, like even their Gmail ID will have their date of birth. And I mean, that's what it is.
Birth dates were so easily available. Birth dates, anniversaries, pets' names, mother's maiden, like everyone knew everything outside. Right. So really thinking about what could be a secret question is a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talking about your, extensive experience and your journey, what's been the most proudest moment of your career so far?
Wow, that's a great question. I was setting up a partial to the others, but okay, I'll start with one. Maybe one more will come to mind. I was setting up a office in a certain city in India. And I reached out to people who were on my team in India in a past role. I was moved so much when people left their cities to move to a new city with their family. And there wasn't even an office to go to. It was still in the process of being built. So that faith, that confidence, that trust in someone who's on the other side of the globe, in another company, to move to a different city with your family, with your young families, right? I think that's huge. I don't know how many people would do that, especially with like a limited interaction. It's not like we knew each other for 25 years or 10 years or something like this. I think that was great. But stepping back from that, I think cybersecurity has been hugely beneficial to me in terms of just learning technologies, being able to lead amazing teams, and being able to really see talent that has a security aptitude. All security engineers shouldn't necessarily come from security growth disciplines. In a way, you don't learn security, you like security, and then you learn security. So it's been really amazing to see people from different teams express security aptitude, engage with my teams to really lean into some security reviews, some security incident management, and then over time express their interest to move over. Those migrations into the information security teams that I've led have been fantastic. I think that's really great to see.
That's wonderful to know. So having been like, you're knee deep in security. So do you get time like to kind of spend time with your family? And I'm just changing lanes a little bit over here.
I do. I think so. Well, more so now than before. But I think that building good teams is a great way for a win-win. There happens to be an interest, gravitational pull in security that kind of everyone needs to be there at all times. And I think building a good team is elemental, is foundational, so that you can insulate times. You also grow them with their experience. It shouldn't always be your way, right? It should support the company, it should support the customer. So really that diversity of thought works best if you let them in. So build good teams, have more time for yourself, have more time to spend with your family, and really watch your team learn and grow. So they will not always do it your way, right? But then that's not a bad thing. It's the team's way. It's the company's way. And as long as we get to an outcome, I think we're serving the needs of security.
No, absolutely. And that's what like encourage them as well to
Sure.
think or innovate.
Exactly. Otherwise, they've got like one way of doing things and they'll just kind of keep doing it their way. I think them showing their innovation, them showing their expertise, them showing their experience is required for security.
No, absolutely. And that's a great perspective. So Sujeet, we got really good insight from you on the technology and cybersecurity. Now let's go back to your childhood days.
Yeah.
Any fond memories where you grew up and what were those days like? It was like we come from the same era. Things were really different at that time. So what kind of experience was that growing up?
I was born and raised in Bombay. I still call it Bombay. I adored it. I think I have the deepest love for it. This is the best place in the world. Great times. Mother, father, my sister. They're amazing people. Amazing support. My father's no more, but my mom and sis are the best people ever. They've supported me through so much. I think I was an absolute train wreck for the most part, but great people. Yeah,
wonderful. You have elder sister?
I do. I do.
And how about your family here?
Wonderful. I've been so blessed. I think that from a family standpoint, from a home standpoint, I think things are well. I have great family here as well. So I like to go back as often as I can. And I've had the pleasure of having set up offices for a few of my last few roles. So that led me the opportunity of going home more frequently. It's wonderful, and I didn't grow up in a Bombay that is the Bombay today. So when I go back to Bombay now, I say, wow, I don't know if I could live here anymore. Right? They're so far advanced.
Next level of transformation.
It really.
All big cities in India these days, yeah.
I can't believe it anymore. The question I always ask, I was in Chennai for a past company. I was in Bangalore for a past company. I go to Bombay a lot. I always ask the folks there, what's local to the security industry here? And I think only in the last 3-5 years, that answer's changed. Like previously, there wasn't any real answer. It was the Indian branches of the US companies. But now I hear a lot more about startups. Now I hear a lot more about innovation. I hear about unicorns and so on and so forth. So that's really great to hear, right? Because all of that expertise, right, that the world now sees is now coming into these cybersecurity startups from India. It's great to see. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that in a way makes us feel proud as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, Sujeet, let's talk a little bit about your personal hobbies and interests. Do you have outside of work, what you do?
I do. I'll start with the tame ones and then go to interesting ones. I like mountain biking. I've always liked it over the years. I think finding friends to ride with is great. Road biking scares me. There's just too many fast cars on the road. But mountain biking is great. It's a disconnect from everything. You have to be disconnected from everything. Great scenery, great terrain. I absolutely enjoy it. Photography is another passion. Recently, that has changed to drone photography. It's really nice to get a bird's eye view on things. And then what I really like is something called Krav Maga. It's an Israeli combat art. It's really nice. I think that being able to protect yourself, coming back to security, or being able to protect what matters the most is important. Being able to assess a threat, being able to run first, right? Get away from it. And if you can't, then you should know what to do. So, everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face. And I plan for getting punched in the face.
Oh, that's really great. And thanks for sharing that with us. So, Sujeet, it's really, really wonderful chatting with you. And we are almost nearing end of our, great discussions.
Okay.
So, at the end, we have a segment called as the rapid fire round. So some quick questions and quick answers.
Okay. I'll
Easy
try.
ones.
Yeah.
One word that describes you as a leader.
Wow. Inquisitive.
Yeah, that you can relate to your teenage time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Coffee or chai while solving a cybersecurity crisis?
Neither. Neither.
Focus?
Yeah, neither. No, I'm not a coffee or a chai guy.
Okay.
I used to be a chai guy, but no longer. Yeah.
Okay. What's your go-to stress buster after a long day?
The punching bag.
Oh, really? Does it have a face?
No.
Okay. The next one. The most underrated threat in cybersecurity today.
The reasonably priced contractor.
Okay. Practical one.
Yeah, I think a security leader can create the best set of security safeguards around everything. But the thrill of finding a reasonably priced contractor to do what you consider a temporary task will have leaders in the company escort that person through all of your safeguards and give access to what you would consider to be very, very sensitive.
Interesting.
So I think human risk management as a solution, but a reasonably priced contractor is an underrated threat. I have nothing against contractors, but I think from an underrated point of view.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good answer. The last question. If not cybersecurity, what career path would you have chosen?
I would love to be writing for a newspaper. I really enjoy that. I think it has research. I think it's communication heavy. You have to make your point in a short amount of time and you have to cater to the widest audience. You can't make any assumptions about the audience reading the newspaper, obviously, right? Because it goes to everyone. So I think having research, having the right communication skills, visuals and so on and so forth, I think that would be great to do.
That's great. And you should, think of doing that again, like maybe whenever you get time. Oh, that's wonderful. You played really well. And thank you so much, Sujeet, to, be on our show. Thank you for all the great insights and knowledge. And really, we wish you continued success for your, future career and your ventures.
Thank you, Sheeta.